Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am coming on here to share with you guys my first experience using the Dermacol foundation. Now if you have not heard of this, it is a very full coverage foundation. It is typically used in like the film industry. I know it's kind of like theater makeup, so I'm a little curious to see how it wears using it as just kind of a day-to-day foundation. I've seen a lot of people on reviewing this foundation, so I just thought I would try it. Now, if you don't know anything about it, a little bit about it is it's been around for about 50 years, give or take. Because of how full coverage it is, they used it mainly with film industry and things like that. It is hypoallergenic. It is not tested on animals. I'm looking at my phone here. And it also says that it contains active substances and extracts of kelps, seaweed, ivy, cornflower, mangold, chestnut, and many others. Again, not tested on animals. So yeah, I believe that it kind of was just like a light, medium, dark type shade range. I don't think it was like specifically named, you know, ivory, porcelain, anything like that. So I just got it in the lightest shade. So this is the box that it comes in. And then this is the tube. The tube is kind of almost like a foil texture. And it says Dermacol Film Studio, I cannot read that, makeup cover. I have already put primer on my face. I already dampened my sponge. So we're just going to put a little bit out. It's already oozing out here. Put a little bit on my hand. I don't think I'm going to need very much. Ooh, it's still coming out. Let's get the lid back on. And I'm just going to take a damp beauty blender and put it on my face. Whoa, that is very thick. I mean, it's not even running down. Very, very thick. I am scared that this is going to make me break out. Okay, so right off the bat, I can tell that it is definitely a very, very full coverage foundation. Doesn't necessarily match my skin tone as well as I would like it to. It's a little bit on the lighter side. However, I can fix that with the rest of my makeup, so I'm not too concerned with that. I will say a lot less thicker on the face. I think it's thick when it comes out, it's thick when you're applying it, but as I bounced it out around my face, it kind of almost thinned out a little bit, and my skin doesn't feel tacky, my skin doesn't feel sticky. It's a very nice finish. It feels kind of like, almost like I put a light moisturizer on at the moment, and it's still drying down. So that is a big surprise. Definitely thought it was going to be very thick, very cakey, and it's not. So that's right off the bat, right out of the gate, that's a plus for me. So yeah, I'm going to wear it the rest of the day. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and then I will come back in and check later on, and we'll see how it's wearing. I am a little concerned if it's going to be super creasy or if it's going to start to separate or anything along those lines. So I will be back in just a little bit. We'll check in, we'll see how we're doing, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so it has been about 4.5 hours since I put the Dermacol foundation on my face. I would say it is holding up pretty well. I don't have any complaints. It's not creasing, it's not running off it's not sliding, it's not moving, it's not separating around my nose, it doesn't feel cakey, it doesn't feel heavy, it's not oily or greasy. I thought because it's theater makeup, I assumed that by this point it would be just kind of melting off my face. I thought that maybe it would be really creasy, really thick, really gross. It's not. I mean, it did a really good job of concealing or covering my face. I did use concealer powder. I baked underneath my eyes, and I did my typical makeup routine. I know that so far so good. I really am enjoying this foundation. I am enjoying the finish on my skin, the wear of it, the comfortability of it. I've been kind of just doing my normal day-to-day routine, and I've had little baby hands grabbing on me all afternoon, so it's still holding up. I mean, usually right in this area around my nose, that right here tends to kind of slide a little bit, and I start to get breakaway. Because my kids are constantly grabbing at me and kissing on me and loving on me, which is adorable, not good for makeup. But it's staying in place, and I actually didn't even use a makeup spray, so it's staying in place on its own. I did use a primer, but I'm pleasantly surprised at this point. So I will wait a few more hours, I will check in again, and we'll see how we're doing by the end of the evening. Okay, so it has been about 9 hours total that I've had the Dermacol foundation on. I have to say I'm really impressed. I'm really surprised. I did not think it was going to wear as well as it has. I thought by this point it would either be totally off my face or it would be really cracky, really crumbly, cakey, settling in my fine lines, things like that. It hasn't. It's not creasy whatsoever. Underneath my eyes still looks really good. I did bake underneath my eyes. I used the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder. So I do think that that may have helped with the creasing under my eyes. However, I have used this baking powder with other foundations and I've ended up creasing by the end of the evening. So that actually does say a lot to me. I was very worried with using this foundation. I thought it was going to be really thick, really heavy, really cakey, and it's not. It's wearing very well. I think I spent, it was like $13 or $14 that I spent ordering it. It was very inexpensive. You do get a decent amount. You get 30 grams of it, and it says, yeah, 30 grams. So for $13, $14, that's actually a very good price point for how well this foundation held up for me. So I'm really surprised that I don't have more separation, more makeup sliding around on my face. I really didn't have any of that. I have not touched up my makeup at all. I do think that the setting powder and baking and things like that did hold it and lock it in place a little bit well, but it does claim that it is water resistant. So I guess that means sweat resistant as well. It is oil free, it is paraben free, it is sulfate free, it is cruelty free. Pretty much a very well put together product. I am really surprised. I mean, it definitely had me a little just a little leery using it. I was thinking in my mind that like a film studio type foundation would be thick, cakey, uncomfortable, heavy, and it's not. It feels like just like any other lightweight foundation that I've tried. Except it's very full coverage. It was only $13, $14, so it's very inexpensive. It got here within probably about a week, so the shipping time wasn't too terrible either. I think this is something that is good to have around. Maybe you have an event to go to where you need a really long wear full coverage foundation, or maybe, you know, you want to take some pictures where you want to cover up a tattoo or something. I did not try this on anything like that, like covering tattoos or anything like that. Now I will say that's what the advertisement claims, is that it's so full coverage it could cover a tattoo. However, I do have this mark on my face right here, and it's still, you can still see it. So I think that it has the capability of completely covering a tattoo while still remaining comfortable enough to wear on your face? No, I don't think that. Because if that were the case, then just the one and a half layers that I put on my face, it would have covered that. But I do still think that it is a very nice full coverage foundation. I do think though that it really doesn't stand that far apart from other foundations that I've tried. So I don't think it's something that's like, oh my goodness, you have to go out and get this, you have to add this to your collection. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's something neat to try if you're just curious like I was. But I don't think it's anything to rush out and get. I think any of the other bazillion drugstore brand foundations that are out there, or even the higher end foundations, you know, any foundation that you really enjoy using, I think it's pretty comparable. There, you know, it's not bad. It's not a bad foundation. It's not a bad coverage. It's not a bad finish. I'm definitely pleasantly surprised at the fact that it wasn't as heavy weighing, as thick, as cakey, or, you know, as messy as I thought this experiment, I should say, was going to be. I envisioned by the end of the night I was going to kind of look like Goldie Hawn on the end of Death Becomes Her. I don't know why I had that image in my head, but I just had this image of makeup just running down my face. That was not the case. It did stay in place. It is hypoallergenic, it's waterproof, SPF 30. So, I mean, it is something that is not a bad product. I just don't think that it's something you need to rush right out and you need to have it in your makeup bag to complete your makeup collection. I think that any foundation is pretty comparable. Not any foundation, but I think a lot of foundations that are full coverage are pretty comparable to what this. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, depending on where you're at in the world. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe. If you have any ideas on a new product that you would like me to test out, feel free to drop a comment down below. I will do my best to get it as quickly as possible and do a review on that for you. And have a good day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.